Hello and Happy New Year, Otafest listeners. It is 2024, and we have a brand new episode of the Otafest podcast. With me today are Nancy and the long-forgotten Jay.
It's true, I forgot me too.
Jay, the prodigal son has returned.
I don't want to be prodigal. I barely want to be a sun. I would like to be a moon.
It's unnecessary pressure on you, really.
You just want to reflect light off your surface.
It's true.
And with our returned host, we have an avalanche of news and announcements. We are excited to announce that Amber Lee Connors will be joining us at Otafest 2024. You may recognize her from Genshin Impact as Farina, Komi Can't Communicate as Komi, Attack on Titan as Peak, and My Hero Academia as Miss Joke, among many others.
If you'd like to participate in Otafest events, multiple applications are currently open. Idlefest, Maiden Butler Cafe, Exhibitor Hall, and Artist Alley. Otafest's own general volunteering pool is also open for applications. Send yours in before it's too late.
And join us for an unforgettable musical experience at Knox United Church on Thursday, February 15th. Otafest presents Alberta Winds Live, Howl's Moving Orchestra, a tribute to Joe Hisaishi. Doors open at 6:45 p.m. The concert is from 7:30 to 8:45 p.m. For more information and tickets, visit howlsmovingorchestra.eventbrite.ca.
And last but not least, Angel Passes are completely gone. However, weekend passes are going fast, so get yours for $63.93 at otafest.com.
That's still an early bird price.
It is still an
It
early
can go
bird
up
price.
higher.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't want it to go up higher on you, but you've already missed your chance. You missed your chance for the Angel Pass, and you missed your chance for early purchase.
Jay, don't rub it in. Oh my god, how dare you? How dare you?
Look, you could start off the new year in a worse way.
There are parenting styles coming out here right now.
Oh,
Allusion
no.
to something we agreed not to talk about.
So, Jay, you're finally back. You're finally returned. Has the post-vacation depression been hitting you?
No, I was ready to come back.
Really?
Oh, fair.
I
Okay.
found out that my limit for travel, like for consecutive, amount of time, is preferably about 17, 18 days. So just under like 3 weeks. Like I don't want to go for that long. At some point I miss
That's
home.
fair.
At some point I miss doing things at home, like seeing the people I know, or like I also get a little bit tired of the area that I'm traveling in. And I would say that that's not quite fair to say of like Tokyo, which was the last leg of my trip. But, Tokyo even being the biggest city in the world, and I've visited a couple of times already, doesn't mean I've seen everything, not even close. But at some point, I'm just like, I have seen Shrine. I have seen shopping center. I have seen street performance art. Like, nothing against any of that, but at some point there's a reason where I have made Calgary my home, so I wouldn't mind returning to said Calgary, which is home.
That's fair. I was in a similar boat at the end of our vacation with me and
Really?
Dio.
Oh.
Dio was feeling like, yeah, I can go for another 2 weeks. Hell yeah, let's do. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not a seasoned traveler. I'm getting the homesick just a smidge.
What did you miss most about home? For me, it was just missing the feeling of my own bed. I missed my own bed.
Having days where you can do nothing.
You know what? I'm kind of with Angelo on this, where like you feel like you always have to be doing something when you're traveling. There are days where you can rest, but even the rest days are just like, oh, I'll just go to a shopping mall, or like, you're like that's the easy, which is quite, but it takes your energy because it saps it takes your attention,
It does. Some of the days that I thought were going to be the most relaxing because everything we wanted to see was in the same area were some of the most intense days of our vacation. And quite frankly, it is just sometimes you want to do nothing. And if you are in another country for a very limited amount of time, that is a big waste of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's the guilt that you're wasting your vacation.
Yeah, the nothing that I don't know if like Angela is referring to the same, like, you know, behaviors, for example, but like the nothingness is sometimes, other than like, we're not talking just like chores and errands, but things like, I don't know, watching Twitch, watching YouTube shows, in general, catching up on that kind of material, maybe reading, maybe playing video games. You don't really get that time to yourself. But then if you feel like you're out there for so long, it also feels like if you're quote unquote running out of things to do, because not everything appeals to everyone, you know, like just like if you're at home, for example, we live in Calgary, really close to Banff. A lot of people like hiking. Not everyone likes hiking when you're at home. In the same way, while I'm in Tokyo, I don't want to go shop for figures because I don't ever shop for figures and I don't really care about that. I'll do that for like 2 days max to go like walk around in those areas. But
We
I
did
don't
certainly
actually have
blitz through
interest.
specific shops at the end of our trip there, didn't we, Angelo?
We did, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Like when we went to the
good.
Mandarake shops, I had no intention of buying anything, but it was cool to see all the stuff.
Yeah, that was
But,
good.
like-
I agree with that.
The Ami Ami shop was dangerous.
Oh, yes. Animate was also a little bit dangerous.
Animate almost got me. It got Dio.
I see. We're scorekeeping. Yeah, like I feel like I'm the kind of person on vacation who builds in time to chill. So, for example, most things in Japan start closing down, I would say relatively early compared to when things kind of start closing down here in North America. And that actually kind of works out well because that means I get to go home, take a shower, sit around in my pajamas for a while, like decompress from my day.
Yeah.
And I like that that happens a little bit every night.
See, that you do that because you're not a night owl.
Very true.
Yeah, like
I don't think
that's a
Japan's
sleep
great for
schedule
night
thing,
owls.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like my sleep schedule doesn't change just because I'm in a different part of the world. It just means that I'm a different part of the world, and now I have to find something to do until the natural point of sleep comes for me, or unless I have something I need to do in the morning, so I have to like try to be in bed.
Dio and I didn't really look for evening activities. And that's one thing that we were like, yeah, we really didn't do anything at night in Japan. Very much. I feel like there's definitely evening activities out there, and we just weren't looking for them. Because
There were-
quite frankly, once like 7 or 8 o'clock hit, me and Dio were just wiped. We were
Well,
dead.
yeah, because we did a lot during the day, but like if you go home, take a break for a bit, and then you go out and you see some night stuff, like we went to Fushimi Inari, for example, at night,
Yeah.
which is a totally different vibe than during the day.
It was so cool.
I loved all
God.
those cats freaking like they scared me. I did not know they were
I
there
took
and
lots
like
of
just
pictures of
hearing
the
things
cats.
rustling in the dark. I was just like, who was that? Who
I
was it?
found like 3 or 4 cat friends at Fushimi Inari, so I took a few pictures of them.
There were-
One of
there were
them
a
Took a
few,
few cat
for
homes
sure.
with you.
Well, I got to pet one, and then the other one was drinking from like one of the wells.
Oh.
So that was really
Cute.
nice. I was one of the things, and we were talking about sort of like trip exhaustion in a way. I tried to combat that because I did most of the planning in terms of setting up where we were staying and the areas that we were going to be in. So not like where we'd go, but just where we'd end up and
Staying.
start the day at, right? So
I
I
see.
tried to choose areas that I had not been to before to help combat that. So we ended up staying around Asakusa, which is really cool.
Asakusa's nice.
And I also did a lot of nighttime walking, like anywhere around from midnight to 3 o'clock. I'd just be walking around in areas, just checking things out and getting the same kind of what you were talking about for Fushimi Inari, which is like just different vibes, right? Because those areas are so heavily populated with people in the daytime, but it's only at night where you can really appreciate a lot of things a little bit more because there's details that you miss, like things that are literally in plain sight, but you can't see it because there's just a wall of people and there's so much energy that you don't get a chance to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
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 Now, having all that said, what was your favorite part of your vacation, Jay? It's so hard to choose.
no, it's not.
Oh, no?
Jay does not vacation like us.
Oh yeah, like I definitely do. I do what I call just like I'm just a wanderer, man. Like I don't like we went to areas that are like very popular, but my big thing is like I like wandering through neighborhoods and like small shopping areas and just local. Like I really just like local things. So my favorite thing was that the first night we landed in Japan and we had to immediately take a local flight up to Sapporo.
Okay.
Literally less than an hour from our Tokyo landing. And when we landed in Sapporo and spent a day there, and then, well, we spent more than one day, but like spent the night, then the next night. And for reference, I went with 4 other people, so 5 total, one of them being my mom. And we were just like, oh, we'll do whatever for dinner. And it's a tie for my favorite things that I did, just because one was I got to just one night I got to go with my mom, just to go like out and around the corner. My mom's never been to Japan before, and we just went out to this place that just like did ramen, and then on the wall was just like, this place has been around for 60 years and it has like lots of celebrity to it, but it's not like it's not a Michelin starred ramen restaurant. It's just a really good one that is very local.
It's just a good old restaurant.
Yeah. And my mom and I really just appreciated having like dinner together in a place like that. And the other night that we had in Sapporo as well, they have something called, to me it's a really funny name. They do this lamb barbecue over like a charcoal grill in Sapporo. It's one of the specialties that you do. You don't have to go anywhere special for it. It's just local to the area.
Okay.
I really like lamb. Everyone that we travel with really likes lamb as well. So it was like a really good dinner. But they call it Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Like, I understand why, but I just thought it was really interesting. Like, they happened to I guess it's probably an offshoot of like Mongolian grill type cuisine that they've brought over to that area of Japan specifically. But I would really recommend. I really like Sapporo. I also really liked the other highlight is probably the sumo tournament for me. Just the energy was so good and like,
nice,
just amazing. I watched the guy that I like to cheer for the most. He won
your
his
Oshi
match.
He won. Your Oshi won. That's so wonderful.
Yay!
Sure, buddy. We'll call it my Oshi. Why not?
Well, what else are you supposed to call your favorite wrestler?
I don't know.
Is there a term?
There's probably a term. There's so many terms for everything there. But yeah, super
We
good
could
times.
call your favorite wrestler your Oshi.
I'm gonna look that up later. If it ends up just being Oshi, I'll just laugh. But yeah, those were the good times. I know that in the meantime, while I was gone, you guys got up to a lot of shenanigans on air.
We did. It was great.
I think we talked about keyboards for 4 streams in a row.
It's fine. It was entertaining.
It's a very pretty keyboard, Jay. You don't
Yeah.
understand.
Like, look,
I do
look.
understand pretty keyboards.
I inspired some good things to happen. It's amazing.
I see.
So pretty. So pretty.
I hadn't listened to the episodes, but it was funny because I had another friend who does listen to the episodes. She is from like Lethbridge, but she has like ties in Japan, and she had actually come over, and she like looked me in the eye when we met up, and she was like, have you listened to any of the podcast episodes while you're gone? I was like, no. And
Those
like,
freaks are
interesting.
talking about keyboards again.
And I was just like, I know what they're talking about.
Hi, Jay's friend. We love you.
Yeah.
It wasn't the only thing we talked about, but it definitely was like
It
a
was a
story
running
arc.
theme.
It was a story arc, honestly.
Good to know. We'll
was
explore.
fun.
We'll explore that as a future theme of episodes later on. Just having blocks of episodes where we're talking about one topic. I'm sure people will love that.
I'm
Anyway.
still loving the keyboard, for the record.
You're probably going to love it for like a solid couple of years, and then one day something will inspire you to go, but what if?
At this
And
point,
then-
I think the only thing I would change is the color pattern and maybe the keycaps. Everything
and those
else
things
I'm
are
so happy
very
with.
easy to change.
Exactly.
Speaking
Like
of
it's
change,
RGB and I
let's
just
change
have it
the
on yellow.
topic.
So the keyboard was basically my present to myself this holiday.
Yes. Yes,
Do you
it
guys
was.
do presents to yourself at all?
Absolutely, yes. I don't
Yeah.
like, first of all, I don't know about Nancy, and this is gonna sound like too gender specific, but guys don't get great gifts. Or they also don't get gifts in general. I'm not saying I don't get any gifts.
Guys
I'm
are
just
hard to shop
saying-
for.
I'm just saying, like, in the overall culture of gifting, men get like left behind on that. So you just get used to buying your own thing. But you also, if you have expendable income, then you want to get your own things anyways.
So I'm really bad about buying things that I want for myself when I want them.
Yep.
Except the things that I buy for myself are never things that I usually need. So like I got a nice set of sheep's skin slippers for my mom for Christmas, and they're wonderful. Ooh. I love them.
Ooh.
I've needed some. And I never would have bought them for myself. Instead, I've been spending all my money on a keyboard and some microcontroller garbage.
Very nice.
What did you get, Nancy?
Around Black Friday / like holiday shopping sales season, I literally just got myself a bunch of like Uniqlo layers for layering this winter. Like I didn't do anything specifically fancy. And then right around Christmas, I decided I wanted to start being a bit of a grown-up with some of my styling. Like Uniqlo has really nice basics. You can dress them up really nicely, very easily. But I kind of noticed that things like my bags, for example, aren't particularly nice. They're functional. They look fine. They're just not like nice. So I absolutely went and blew a bit of my like Christmas money on a nice bag. I had it at Duck the other day, which was fantastic. And I got a
I think I
couple
remember that
compliments on it.
bag.
You didn't sit at my table, so I did not see beg.
It's just a nice looking bag. It's made with, instead of leather, it's made with cork bark.
Interesting.
So it's 3 times lighter than leather, just as soft, just as pliable.
Does it float?
Far more eco-friendly.
Do you think it floats?
You know what? It probably does.
I mean, it won't float if you just, throw super heavy dense shit in it, because that's not how that works. But I was like, it would probably sustain itself on the water for a little bit longer, maybe, in case you needed to retrieve it in such a situation.
Probably. I don't know. I'll have to show you next time, but it's just very well featured. It's just like a really nice upgrade.
So because of the timing of when I was traveling, I ended up buying more stuff for myself than I would normally, but I was always planning to, I wanted to do a closet refresh of most of my clothes. And I was like, I'm going to be in Japan. Clothing is cheaper there anyways with styles that I tend to like more. So
Yeah, and the styles are generally more accessible there.
yes. So I
That
bought
I
like
like.
$400 worth of clothing, but
Nice.
that's like that comprises probably like that changed over probably about 60% of my closet at this time, which is good. The thing that I surprised myself with during that time was that I fit a Japanese medium, which is very weird. I thought I was going to be a large.
Actually.
The clothing is
the fact that you have wiggle room in Japanese sizes now. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I didn't find a lot of like the UT graphics that I liked. I think I went at the wrong time for stuff that I actually wanted from designs, but that's okay. I just got a lot of like my regular everyday stuff, which is nice. And video games are so much cheaper there. So I bought a couple video games for myself.
Oh, like secondhand games or?
No, new, dude.
New?
What'd you get?
Both the new. I didn't get Super Mario Wonder, though I.
I didn't realize that Nintendo games, that Switch games weren't region locked.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, me neither.
The Switch is not region locked. Hasn't been since day one. So you buy a Japanese Mario game. Normally here it's going to be $80. In Japan, including the power of the yen, it's going to be about $53. It's like an easy save. It's an easy save for like their, especially like Nintendo's.
And do the Japanese versions have the different language options?
Yep, automatically.
Nice.
So like I bought. Well, okay, one game was technically used, as in like it's old. It's that like Mario 3D collection that they released in very limited quantity for some reason. Where it has
that
Super
one.
Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 64, and Super Mario Sunshine, all on one game cartridge. It's exceedingly stupid to find in the US. It's pretty much at any secondhand store or video game store.
Wasn't that the one that Nintendo only had available for like 3 months or something?
Something like that. Like nobody knows why Nintendo's weird. Everyone's like they're evil.
Nintendo's very weird.
They don't print money when they could print money.
And then
and they extort money when they
Yes.
don't need to. It's very strange.
Yes.
And I also picked up Super Mario RPG, which is like I mean, it's a remake, but it's a brand new remake, and that was also like $50-ish.
Like, I'm dying to experience that game.
When was the last time Super Mario RPG was on a console? Was that the Game Boy Advance?
No, it was on the.
I don't know if it ever came on the Advance. I think it's actually a game that.
Or was it just Super Nintendo?
Yeah, it was on the SNES, right?
I think so.
Am I thinking of Super Mario All-Star something?
Yes,
Maybe.
You are. You're thinking of Super Mario All-Stars, which has the collection from like Lost Levels, regular Super Mario Bros, Super Mario World, Super Mario 3. That's what you're thinking.
Maybe.
That's the collection, but it doesn't come with Super Mario RPG. I think RPG is the one that's left out.
So yeah, it has been like 30 years since that's been available.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
But yeah,
and Nintendo wonders why people emulate.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I'm glad you had good shopping adventures.
I will say that this always happens in Japan. I am not a shopper type of traveler, but Japan does get into my wallet more so than any other place I've ever traveled. Surprisingly, like I last time I was there, I expected to buy nothing, and then I stumbled into a used video game shop where they have like the Japanese versions of Pokemon, like green, yellow, red, and blue in box, and I'm like,
Dang
okay, take my money.
My God.
It happens.
But yeah, it happens. Like the same thing happened for me. I found a figure that I wanted to pre-order before going to Japan. The problem is the pre-order was like $350 because it was a 5th scale. The shipping on it was like another $250. I go to Japan and get it, and it was like after the foreigner tax removal, it was $250 for just the figure.
Mm-hmm. And then you just carried it home.
Yep. And I was like, I went to Japan being like, my wallet is baby. I don't want to buy too many things.
And then you found
and
the
then I
thing
buy too
you
many
wanted.
things.
I fully went into a lot of stores going, I'm probably not going to buy anything. Not even that. I'm probably not going to find anything I particularly want to bring home with us because we have limited luggage room. So we did that thing where we only brought carry-on with us. So whatever we brought back had to fit in our backpacks. We ended up buying another backpack.
Yep. I remember that. You guys went to the Radio Ava store and Sean bought himself a big old backpack.
Yeah, and that thing is funny because it has this big reflective, like, Ava 01 green strip across it. So even though it sits in the darkest corner of the basement, when you go downstairs, it's like this glowing green eye.
I love that.
It's so funny. It reminds me every time. I, like, go downstairs, turn the corner. I'm like, right, yes, the backpack. Yes, we have a backpack there now.
Part of me regrets not checking what the price on those backpacks were. Part of me just assumed the prices weren't on them, so I just assumed it's like, yes, this is a little pop-up store where a simple jacket is $1,200. I clearly cannot afford this backpack.
I mean, that depends on your definition of affordable for you, right?
Well,
Also,
it was 160 something, if I remember you guys told me.
It turned out to be something closer to 120 or 130.
And that's the thing, for a quality backpack, that is very reasonable.
It was very nice.
Quite frankly, for a mid-quality backpack that's branded, that's still on the reasonable side.
And it's Ava. It's
Yeah.
Radio Ava merch. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, fine.
Oh, that reminds me. I went to karaoke while I was in Japan, and the karaoke place I went to was Evangelion themed.
Sweet.
Oh my god.
That is
That's
amazing.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was in not Shinjuku, the other one that
Shibuya?
Shibuya, yeah, it was just just southeast of Shibuya Crossing. I remember.
Oh, okay.
It was like Shibuya Crossing's all right. I found one of the things that I found was that I don't know if it's because like my interest has shifted, but like I definitely did not want to visit the themed stuff I had visited last time.
You mean
I
like
didn't
themed cafes or?
Like the Pokemon store was not very interesting to me. The Nintendo stores weren't open last time I was there, but I still wasn't that interested. I don't know what it is. Partly
The one
You and I
in-
never went to a
they
Pokemon
sold out
Center.
of stuff that I wanted. That also probably played a part.
Dio and I never made it to a Pokemon Center, and part of me still regrets not trying to do that. But when we happened upon a Pokemon store and a Nintendo store in Shibuya Park, they were so ridiculously busy that it just turned me off even trying to enter the store.
That's fair.
That's how I felt about a lot of those shops. The only kind of shop that I'm still okay with going to is like a Ghibli branded one. And we did accidentally find one in like an accidental mall we were in that first time we went.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So it was just happenstance. Like we didn't seek it out.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
Other
right.
than-
The Pokemon stores are ridiculously busy.
Yeah, they're like I've been to most of them as it is, but like they're definitely interesting. I think I've actually just sort of aged out of the content, unfortunately. Like I still have like fond memories, but it's like 85% nostalgia at this point, and 15% like, do I care about what's happening right now? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I know I talked about food when Angela asked me what my favorite part was. What was your favorite food when you were there?
The tempura restaurant we accidentally found. That was an expensive meal, and it was the most amazing tempura I will ever have.
Nice. That is, I remember because Sean 2 weeks after we get back is like, look what happened. Abroad in Japan made a video about 2 weeks in Japan and going to this tempura restaurant specifically.
Yep. That was really surprising.
You guys stumbled upon one of the things that you should do if you have only 2 weeks in Japan.
Mm-hmm. It was a good steal.
Quite frankly, Dio and I didn't go for any, like, super crazy high-end food. And so while we had some great experiences, like the conveyor belt sushi, that was awesome.
The bullet train sushi was so good and cheap.
Actually loved the udon that I had there.
The one at the shop in Harajuku?
So there was the curry udon that I had there.
Yeah.
That was so good. Mm-hmm. There was the duck udon that I had in Arashiyama. Basically, every single time I had udon, I was happy. I was so happy.
So
agree.
I am kind of in that same boat, but it wasn't udon that got me. I like udon, but not as much as I like a gyudon bowl.
So, yeah.
Something like if you've never had one, but you've been to, like, I guess the closest approximation that we have here is Edo, Japan, where they give you a big thing of sliced meat, usually with some onion, some yakiniku sauce. They'll have a little side salad. If you get like the combo, you get a little side salad, you'll get a miso soup, you get some rice, and most of the times you can customize everything for your set. So you can have the rice be more or less. It'll be the same price. They don't care about the rice. They're like, you can have an extra large bowl of rice for the same money because that's not what costs us, the most here. But you can also like double up on the meat or triple up the meat if you want to. You can order side meat. You can order onsen egg. You can order raw egg. You can order like all the veg that you want. And you can find these they're not like, you can find gyudon local restaurants, but they're actually more famed in terms of like among locals. Like there's 3 major chains: Yoshinoya, Matsuya, and oh no, I can't remember the last one. It starts with an S. But they're basically everywhere. Many of them, especially in like the downtown areas of Japan, are 24/7. So sometimes
they're almost considered fast food.
Yeah. Dio and I saw many a Yoshinoya, and I was like, oh, that's one of those fast food places. We should try it at some point in time, and then we just never did.
Yeah, same.
You can get
this time.
A set combo is $8 for the rice, the meats, the like the soup, everything. You can also, if you don't want beef, you can't really get chicken, but you can get fish. You can get like a grilled fish.
Damn.
They are very inexpensive. They are super tasty. You can find
pretty good
them
quality
everywhere. Yes. Like, is it a little bit greasy? Yes. Is it still pretty much better than any other type of fast food that you can get like in Calgary? Also,
100%.
yes.
100%.
And
Well, it's just the value proposition.
Here's the thing. I probably went 8 to 9 times.
Sweet
Nice.
Jesus. You did it. You made up for all the times we didn't get to go.
Yeah. I want to be clear. It's not because I was trying to save money. It's because I loved the food.
Because you
that
just
much.
liked it
Like,
that much.
I would boost, I would boost how much food I was getting. At one point, I ordered 2 set combos.
Oh my god.
That was one of my breakfasts. And then at other times I would just like boost how much meat I was getting or whatever. But like, number one food thing that I absolutely miss is Yoshinoya and Matsuya.
Oh, please.
They're just so
please,
good.
Yoshinoya, open a chain here. Please.
I was thinking that, like, I was like, you do so well, but you wouldn't be able to say cheap.
I guess it would
No, you
still be
wouldn't.
relatively cheap, I think, compared to a lot of the fast food chains here
Maybe.
already.
And I will say I like Ito a lot here, but they're similar but not the same.
Fair. I will point out, Angelo and Dio and us, we did do one fancy thing together, and it was the unagi shop.
Yes.
Our
and
first
Dio
night
and
in
I,
Kyoto.
So I was still feeling pretty bad at that point in time. The WestJet ravioli really did it to me.
Ugh,
So I wasn't feeling too adventurous, and so I got the Wagyu gyudon from that place.
And it was good.
It was very good. It was very good. I still maintain that Wagyu doesn't feel special to me.
I will. Okay.
Because
still was
Alberta
good.
beef is so good.
Well, here's the thing. I have a funny
But
story about
it was
that.
it was good.
I have like, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but there are restaurants in Japan that serve Alberta beef.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh my
There are
god.
many There are many
Amazing.
restaurants in Japan that serve
Actually, I
Alberta
feel
beef.
like I saw one or two restaurants there advertising Angus beef, which isn't Alberta beef, but
Well, Angus. So
We
quick
have a lot of that here.
Aside on that, Angus beef is not specifically special. Angus beef is prized because of its yield, not because of its specific quality.
okay.
So an Angus beef cow is just literally a beefier cow. It is
Yum,
it's a big
beefier.
chonker that they can make lots of good products with. Alberta beef, there are restaurants in Japan that literally just sell Alberta beef in the way that we have restaurants in Alberta that sell Wagyu, which is funny.
Amazing.
But a better story I have about that is while I was staying in Tokyo, when I was in Asakusa, I don't know why I said it that way, Asakusa. So across about half a block away on the corner was a 7-Eleven. And usually I'd go there either at the beginning of the day to grab a quick snack to go, or at the end of the night to grab some drinks and other snacks to chill with. But sometimes I would just grab food and then just like walk around and like eat it while I was walking, which is not something you should technically do, but nobody else is walking around the Japanese streets at 2 a.m. So
Dio,
I figured it was
Nancy, and
okay.
Sean gave me so much shit for trying to just walk around and eat my, what was it?
You shouldn't do it.
The fish thing. The fish thing with the red
Taiyaki?
bean paste inside. Taiyaki.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Right.
do that because it's usually crowded. Like I did this at like
It was
late at
not
night.
crowded at
Late at night, nobody else is around. But in the daytime, you should just hang out right outside the convenience store if you're gonna eat it. Anyways, so I'm there. I'm buying my stuff. The clerk's like in limited English, like, but where are you from? And I was like, oh, we're from Canada. And he's like, oh, and without me prompting anything else, he says 2 things. I don't like the cold. And
Yes.
he says, I like Alberta beef. Those
Nice.
are literally, I said nothing other than we are from Canada. And those are like the 2 things that he wanted to pinpoint about his knowledge about Canada. And I was like, I'm from Alberta. I eat Alberta beef.
All
Yeah.
the time.
But
I mean,
that was
even
the fun
from coming out from Ontario, Alberta beef hits different.
I don't know how many times in my life I've had a beef product that wasn't Alberta beef, if it wasn't like maybe some sort of Wagyu kind of thing. But you know what? I think I'm blessed not to know that information. I'd like to know that
Like,
almost
Even the ground beef here is better.
I mean, I can agree with that, and I will stick to
I never
this.
thought about it that way, but now that you've pointed it out, I'm like, I mean, I haven't had ground beef in a whole lot of other places to compare, but okay.
Exactly. Like, why would
I'll
you?
believe you.
The
But-
only gripe I have about ground beef, and has nothing to do with Alberta ground beef, has everything to do with Wagyu ground beef. Wagyu ground beef doesn't make any difference or sense.
Yeah,
it's just
it seems like a
beef
bit
with
of a
more
waste.
fat. That's all.
Well,
it
You
is.
it
can
seems like a
literally
waste, 'cause
do the
Wagyu's
exact same
already-
thing by buying the cheapest ground beef you can
Yes.
get and adding tallow or even just butter to it.
Yeah.
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 That's basically
Right.
it.
Wagyu
100%.
ground beef is a scam.
If someone's selling you
Would not do.
Wagyu burger or Wagyu meatballs, don't buy it.
Punch them in the teeth.
Don't. We
For
do
legal
not
purposes,
condone
we don't
violence.
advocate violence.
We don't advocate or condone violence. Just
Just punch them
don't
in the teeth.
do it. No. right, speaking of food, we had our annual New Year duck last week. I was blessed to be able to sit next to Dio and Angelo for once, because usually we all get split up at different tables. But it was really nice catching up over some duck and just stuffing our faces.
Yeah, and I didn't get to make the Christmas party this year, so I got to
Me neither.
see, just being able to see faces is nice.
Yeah, me and Dio went to the Christmas party and you guys weren't there, and we were like, what the fuck?
I was sick.
What's going on?
I was
that's
sick,
right.
Plus
you were.
I had jet lag, so it was like triple bad.
I worked, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
At least you got to make money.
Stop that.
I did not make money. That's besides the point, though. Duck was amazing. As per usual, the duck combos there are, it was so good. We got 2 different types of soup. I think I was the only one at the table who was like, we should get some vegetables. And everyone was like,
No. I was down with that. I love the veggies there.
I will say.
yeah. Was that your first time having snow pea leaves?
Probably not.
Okay.
But
It's always good.
the last time I would have had them, I probably didn't know what they were.
Maybe.
Because I remember, we got the duck combos, we got the duck tacos, we got the hot and sour soup, we got the tofu soup, we got the nudes, we got the rice.
Oh, it
But
was
then
so good.
as the sides, we had like gailan, we had the snow peas, we had the salt and pepper eggplant.
Oh, do you guys get
There were a
siulang
couple
bao?
things.
Yeah, we also got siulang
That's
bao.
good. Dumplings.
They forgot about it, so we
Yeah, they
literally
forgot.
had those after the bill. They were like the dessert.
Yeah, they were our
That's a
dessert.
good
It was
dessert,
good.
though. That's a good dessert.
It was funny because I when we were like, okay, so we're getting duck, and I'm like, yep. Do we need anything else? Like, oh yeah, we should get other stuff. What should we get?
Of course.
Vegetables? Like, sure. Eggplant. Like, oh yeah, eggplant. Eggplant's great.
Oh, the
I
eggplant
was
is
salty.
so good.
I was salty about that because there were bell peppers in it, so I couldn't eat it.
Oh no, I did notice that there were a few different things with bell peppers.
Yeah, after traveling
have to
with me
remember to
for
ask.
a week and a bit, Angelo now knows that I can't have bell peppers in anything.
There's
It is
Sorry,
Jay.
there's 2 points. There's 2 points I was gonna make. One of them is like, despite all the like you want to talk about inflation, shrinkflation, blah blah blah. Like the duck meal for a full table that we do, like where we order several courses and everything like that, is still an amazing deal. Like you're full.
Oh, it was a great deal.
It's like it's filling. It's delicious. You get to be surrounded by friends. And
I think for our
it was
table,
it was 25 per person.
it
for
was
us.
less than $30.
It was like $25 a person for our
After
table of
tip.
9 people after we had 2 duck courses and like a whole bunch of those sides.
It was $25 per because I did the payment for our table, $25 per
Yeah.
person with tip and like a good
Yep,
tip.
with
we're
tip,
Not,
with
we're not,
tip.
We're not like we're not stinging on the tip. We do like 20.
Our table almost
We did
tipped
20%.
$100 just because we didn't have small denomination bills.
That's funny.
Yeah, we made a couple of people take back some 5s after enough people had like finished putting all their cash in.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like, yeah, well, I like some people were like, yeah, I put in like $40. I'm like, no, the bill was only 25 with tip. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'll take a 5 back.
Yeah.
I still want to tip $10 on top of what I actually owe. And I was like, you do you, but just so you know, we don't have to put that much in if you don't want to.
Quick, so just and this is aside from the duck dinner. This goes back to Japan a little bit. I had a discussion with a friend who went with me. I could just name him because he doesn't care. It's Rob. But we had this discussion
Hi, Rob.
after we got back. I went out of my way to buy things like veggie juice and like fruit juice and stuff because in Japan, I don't understand what the principal sources of fiber are in their meals, in their everyday meals.
No, I get you.
Because I don't want to get into this too much because we're kind of near the end of the episode as it is. But really quickly, it's everything that I had was either like, sometimes it was like lettuce and carrots in like their little garden salad thing. Mm-hmm. But not very much. We're talking like, like a tiny
3 bites
2 by 2
of salad.
square of that dish. Otherwise, it's like seaweed that's very prevalent, whether it's through broth but I don't think fiber really translates through broth.
No.
And
No.
and otherwise seaweed like chopped into seasoning and whatnot, or like through sushi or whatever, right? But you're not having sushi every day. No Japanese person has sushi every day. I don't understand where Japanese people get their fiber from. Like sometimes they'll get like some tempura, but that's not not part of every meal.
No.
I was like sort of
I
flabbergasted.
think you would get a heart attack if you had tempura for every meal.
Yeah, even if you got like like a lot of pumpkin or like broccoli or whatever, but that's not a lot of fiber. I don't know where Japanese people get their fiber from, but I didn't at the same time, you know, the BMs were okay. So I don't know the magic source of fiber in their diet.
Yeah. I've been told from people who grew up there that the rice you buy in Japan is heavily enriched with like lots of things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some like fiber enrichment in there as well. But yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely went out of my way during hot pot when I was extremely just like, I need hot pot. I need it badly.
Sure.
Angela's not feeling good. Let's go for hot pot. I like grabbed a lot of vegetables at hot pot.
But that was like one meal, right? But like
that was one meal where I
just
specifically was like, I am craving lots of vegetables today.
Because like pointing out to like viewers who either haven't been or you don't think about it, like when you guys were talking about vegetables and wanting vegetables, like we also ordered veg on our end. We ordered gailan and we didn't order stone pea leaves, but that's okay. But the point is like, it's not even just like an age thing. I like vegetables. I always have liked vegetables, but I'm also at an age where like I appreciate fiber and in my diet. But there's just no, like I go back to this statement. There is no real obvious source of fiber that we consider a major source in everyday Japanese meals. So like no big leafy green. It's not broccoli. It's not spinach. It's not like Chinese greens of any kind. Like, yes, can you get them in your meal? Absolutely. But is it a regular part of the meal? Not from what I ordered, and I ordered at a lot of places. And not because...
that was my experience as well.
I wasn't just eating protein either, you know?
Yeah, that was my experience as well. I'd say that tracks.
I thought it was weird. Rob also thought it was weird. And
it's very interesting to see the differences in common meal building and how they differ from here and Japan.
We came to the conclusion that like the Japanese diet is healthier, but we can't tell exactly where and why, and that because they don't have big leafy greens, but they live longer than us, big leafy greens are killing Americans and Canadians.
Obviously.
You know what it might actually be? Because the Japanese lifestyle includes so much more walking, the act of walking actually does help the BMs. It literally does. It's science.
But I'm just saying you still need a source of fiber in your diet. It is a dietary requirement. So, again, flabbergasted. I'm saying big greens are... America's big greens are killing us. That's what's happening.
Big fiber.
Big fiber.
I like
Big
eating
fiber.
the greens.
Yep. The greens are
I
huge.
like the greens. I'm going to die eating my greens.
And on that note, I think we can end this episode. Before we let you go, just a reminder that coming up next, there's a new season of anime to be reviewed. So... we look forward to that, I guess. And I guess I'm back.
Welcome back, Jay.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Angelo.
We missed you.
Now get out.
Yeah. Go punch
Get back
someone in
to
the
work.
teeth.
Say